Why do the worst people seem to succeed? Nietzsche and the truth about power. Great question. Nietzsche had a lot to say about power, morality, and success. His philosophy challenges conventional ideas of good and evil, which can help explain why morally questionable people often rise to the top. Master versus slave morality. Nietzsche's radical perspective. Nietzsche's concept of master versus slave morality is one of his most famous and controversial ideas. He believed that different groups of people developed competing moral systems based on their power, status, and life experiences. 1. Master morality, the morality of strength. Who creates it? The ruling class, warriors, aristocrats, and conquerors. People who see themselves as strong, powerful, and noble. What does it value? Strength, ambition, courage, pride. Success and power are considered good. Weakness, pity, and submissiveness are considered bad. How it judges morality. Good is whatever elevates life, creates, and asserts power. Evil is whatever is weak, resentful, or obstructs power. Morality is self-determined, not based on external rules. Examples of master morality. Ancient Greek heroes like Achilles and Odysseus. Roman aristocrats and emperors. Renaissance rulers like Machiavelli's prince. Successful entrepreneurs and political leaders. 2. Slave morality, the morality of the oppressed. Who creates it? The oppressed, the weak, the suffering masses. Those who lack power but seek revenge through morality. What does it value? Humility, meekness, obedience, and compassion. Suffering and weakness become virtuous. Power, pride, and ambition are seen as evil. How it judges morality. Good is whatever helps the weak and prevents oppression. Evil is whatever asserts strength or independence. Morality is reactive. It exists in opposition to the strong. Examples of slave morality. Early Christianity, which glorifies suffering and meekness. Social movements that focus on victimhood over empowerment. The belief that wealth, power, and success are inherently evil. 3. The struggle between the two. Nietzsche argued that slave morality triumphed in Western civilization, especially through Christianity and democratic values. Instead of valuing strength and greatness, societies began glorifying weakness and punishing ambition. Christianity, for example, flipped the values of Rome. While Roman nobility admired strength and honor, Christianity taught that the meek shall inherit the earth. Modern society often rewards victimhood. Nietzsche saw resentment, ressentiment, as a key feature of slave morality, where the weak use guilt to manipulate the strong. 4. Nietzsche's call to overcome slave morality. Nietzsche did not say all slave morality is bad, but he saw it as a sign of decay when it prevents humanity from growing stronger. He wanted individuals to rise beyond weak morality and embrace their will to power, to create their own values rather than follow inherited ones. His solution? The Übermensch, Overman, a person who transcends both slave morality and traditional master morality, forging a new, life-affirming moral code. 5. What does this mean for us today? Do we admire strength and self-determination, or do we glorify weakness and victimhood? Are we creating values, or just reacting to what we don't like? Are we honest about our motivations, or do we resent others for their power? Nietzsche's challenge: break free from inherited moral systems and create your own path. Will to power, Nietzsche's core idea. The will to power, Willensmacht, is one of Nietzsche's most fundamental and misunderstood concepts. He saw it as the driving force behind all life, more than survival, more than pleasure, and certainly more than traditional morality. 1. What is the will to power? Most people assume that human nature is driven by Schopenhauer's will to live, the desire to survive. Hedonism, the pursuit of pleasure and avoidance of pain. Nietzsche disagreed. He argued that life's true essence is the will to power, a force that drives individuals to grow, expand, and assert themselves. It's not just about physical power or domination. The will to power manifests in creativity, ambition, self-overcoming, and the desire to shape the world according to one's vision. Key aspects of the will to power. White heavy checkmark: the desire to create, dominate, and shape reality. White heavy checkmark: the instinct to overcome obstacles and grow stronger. White heavy checkmark: the ability to impose meaning on the world, instead of accepting pre-made values. White heavy checkmark the rejection of passivity, weakness, and victimhood. 2. How the will to power shapes the world. Nietzsche saw this force at work in everything. A. In individuals. Artists express their will to power through creation. Scientists express it through discovering and controlling nature. Leaders express it through shaping societies and values. Example: Leonardo da Vinci, Napoleon, and Elon Musk. All people who sought to transform the world rather than accept it as it is. B. In society. Religions impose a moral will to power, shaping how people think. Governments exert political will to power, controlling laws and behavior. Media and culture express ideological will to power, influencing beliefs. Example: Christianity and democracy succeeded because they reshaped values, shifting power from aristocrats, master morality, to the masses, slave morality. C. In nature. Plants fight for sunlight. Animals fight for dominance in their ecosystems. Humans compete for knowledge, resources, and status. Everything seeks to expand itself, whether physically, mentally, or socially. 3. The will to power versus slave morality. Nietzsche believed that most people suppress their will to power because of social conditioning. Religions, moral systems, and political ideologies often tell people to be obedient, humble, and weak. Warning problem: many people embrace slave morality because they are taught that ambition is evil and power is corrupt. White heavy checkmark solution: the strong should embrace their will to power, not in cruelty, but in self-overcoming and greatness. 4. The Übermensch, will to power in action. Nietzsche's Übermensch, Overman or Superman, is someone who fully embraces the will to power. This person creates their own values rather than accepting society's, transforms struggle into strength rather than seeking comfort, acts boldly and creatively instead of living in resentment. Example: imagine someone who refuses to be a victim and instead channels hardship into becoming stronger, smarter, and more powerful, like a self-made entrepreneur, a revolutionary thinker, or an artist who changes culture. 5. What does this mean for us today? Nietzsche's challenge to us: are you living by your will to power, or are you being controlled by someone else's values? Do you create, or do you obey? Do you strive for greatness, or do you settle for mediocrity? Do you shape your beliefs, or do you accept them passively? Embracing the will to power doesn't mean being ruthless. It means taking responsibility for your life, your ambitions, and your strength. Final thought: many misunderstand Nietzsche as advocating for pure domination, but his real message is about self-overcoming. The will to power is the force that makes us more than what we were yesterday, not by following others, but by shaping our own destiny. The illusion of justice, Nietzsche's critique of morality. Nietzsche had a radical and unsettling view on justice. He believed it was often an illusion, a tool created by the weak to control the strong. Instead of being an absolute truth, justice is a human construct, shaped by power struggles and resentment, ressentiment. 1. Justice as a human invention. Most people think of justice as heavy checkmark, fairness, everyone gets what they deserve. Heavy checkmark, equality, everyone is treated the same. Heavy checkmark, punishment for wrongdoing. Those who break the rules suffer consequences. But Nietzsche rejected this idea. He believed that justice is not an eternal, universal truth. It is created by societies to serve certain interests. What is considered just changes depending on who holds power. The weak use justice to limit the strong, preventing them from exercising their will to power. 2. Justice as an extension of slave morality. Nietzsche saw modern justice as a form of slave morality, a moral system created by the weak to protect themselves from the strong. Instead of openly fighting, the weak promote values like fairness, equality, and punishment to limit those who are naturally superior. Red circle example. In ancient warrior societies, justice was revenge-based. If someone wronged you, you struck back with equal force, lex talionis, eye for an eye. In modern society, justice is legalistic. The state punishes crime, and people are taught to accept suffering rather than seek personal vengeance. Nietzsche argued that this shift wasn't about progress, but about power shifting from the strong to the weak. 3. Justice as a mask for resentment. One of Nietzsche's key ideas is ressentiment, a deep-seated resentment that the weak feel toward the strong. Instead of trying to become stronger, the weak demonize power and demand fairness to bring others down. Red circle examples in today's world. People who demonize wealth and success instead of striving for their own achievements. The idea that justice must always punish the strong, even when they've done nothing wrong. Victim culture, where people claim oppression instead of taking control of their lives. Nietzsche would say, most calls for justice are just masked resentment against those who are better, stronger, or more successful. 4. True justice versus the illusion of justice. Nietzsche wasn't against all forms of justice. He simply wanted to strip away illusions and see it for what it is, a struggle for power. False, illusory, justice. Crossmark justice based on equality for its own sake, not on merit. Crossmark justice used as a weapon of the weak against the strong. Crossmark justice that punishes success or power rather than actual wrongdoing. True justice, Nietzschean view. White heavy checkmark justice based on strength, creativity, and achievement. White heavy checkmark justice that rewards greatness rather than tearing down the strong. White heavy checkmark justice that embraces life and power rather than suppressing it. Nietzsche believed that justice should not limit human potential. It should allow the strong to rise and create, rather than forcing them to conform to weaker values. 5. What does this mean for us today? Nietzsche's challenge. Are our ideas of justice truly about fairness, or are they about controlling others? Do we seek justice, or do we seek revenge? Do we reward greatness, or do we punish success? Do we fight for truth, or do we just want to bring others down? Instead of blindly accepting society's version of justice, Nietzsche challenges us to ask who benefits from it, and whether it truly serves life, power, and strength. Final thought. Nietzsche wasn't saying we should abandon justice entirely. He was saying we should question it deeply. Who defines justice? Who benefits from it? And does it empower us, or just keep us weak? Strength versus hypocrisy. Nietzsche's critique of moral double standards. Nietzsche believed that true strength is rare, and most people pretend to be virtuous when, in reality, they are weak and resentful. He saw a deep hypocrisy in modern morality, especially in how people judge power, success, and ambition. 1. True strength. The courage to live authentically. Nietzsche admired those who, heavy checkmark, embrace their power instead of hiding it. Heavy checkmark, live with honesty rather than pretending to be virtuous. Heavy checkmark, create their own values instead of following inherited morality. Heavy checkmark, accept struggle and hardship instead of seeking comfort and pity. Blue circle examples of strength in Nietzsche's eyes. Artists, warriors, and philosophers who create without fear. The Übermensch, who transcends society's moral conditioning. People who take responsibility for their lives rather than blaming others. Lightbulb Nietzsche's message. True strength isn't just physical power. It's the ability to stand alone, think freely, and affirm life without excuses or resentment. 2. The hypocrisy of the virtuous. Nietzsche saw modern morality as full of hypocrisy, especially in religious and political systems that preach humility and kindness but secretly crave power. Red circle examples of hypocrisy in society. Politicians who speak about equality while hoarding power. Religious leaders who preach humility while living in luxury. People who condemn ambition in others while secretly desiring success. Backhand index pointing right. Nietzsche's critique. Many people pretend to be virtuous because they lack the courage to be powerful. Instead of seeking strength, they try to tear down the strong and call it justice or morality. 3. The psychology of weakness and resentment. Nietzsche saw resentment, ressentiment, as a key driver of hypocrisy. Weak individuals, instead of trying to improve themselves, develop a hatred toward those who succeed. Red circle signs of resentment. Condemning the powerful while secretly envying them. Glorifying suffering instead of overcoming it. Attacking ambition instead of striving for greatness. Lightbulb Nietzsche's warning. Many so-called moral people don't actually believe in their own values. They just use them as a weapon against those who are stronger or more successful. 4. Strength versus hypocrisy in modern life. Nietzsche's ideas are still relevant today. Consider, blue circle a strong person, takes responsibility for their actions, creates their own values instead of following the herd, seeks greatness without apology. Red circle, a hypocrite. Criticizes success while secretly wanting it. Plays the victim instead of striving for strength. Uses morality as a tool to control others rather than to improve themselves. Light bulb, Nietzsche's call to action. Instead of pretending to be moral, we should strive to be strong and authentic, to live boldly, think freely, and create fearlessly. Final thought. Nietzsche's ultimate question: are you living by your own strength, or are you hiding behind moral excuses? Why do the worst people seem to succeed? Nietzsche's truth about power. If the world was fair, good people would rise, and bad people would fall. But reality is often the opposite. The ruthless, the deceitful, and the manipulative often climb to the top, while the kind and honest struggle. Nietzsche offers a brutally honest explanation. Power rewards those who take it. 1. Morality is a human invention, not a universal law. Most people assume that good should be rewarded and evil should be punished. But Nietzsche argues that morality is not an absolute law of the universe. It's a human invention, shaped by power struggles. Red circle, reality check. Lions don't apologize for killing antelopes. Nature doesn't care about fairness, only strength and survival. History favors the bold, not the kind. Light bulb lesson. The universe doesn't reward goodness. It rewards will, ambition, and power. 2. Weakness is not a virtue. It's a strategy for control. Many people assume that meekness and humility are moral virtues. But Nietzsche exposes these as a strategy of the weak, a way to manipulate the strong. Red circle example. A person who cannot win by strength will claim that strength is evil. The weak promote justice and fairness, not because they truly believe in them, but because it keeps the strong in check. Light bulb lesson. The worst people succeed because they don't play by the moral rules designed to keep them weak. 3. Power is taken, not given. Nietzsche's will to power explains why the ruthless succeed. They are willing to do what others won't. Blue circle, traits of those who rise to power. White heavy checkmark, they create their own values instead of following inherited morality. White heavy checkmark, they embrace struggle and hardship instead of avoiding it. White heavy checkmark, they use power effectively rather than feeling guilty about it. Red circle, traits of those who stay weak. Crossmark, they complain about fairness instead of taking action. Crossmark, they demonize ambition instead of striving for greatness. Crossmark, they play the victim instead of overcoming challenges. Light bulb lesson. The world belongs to those who have the will to power, not those who wait for permission. 4. The strong versus the hypocrites. Nietzsche does not say that all powerful people are evil, only that they are willing to act while others hesitate. Red circle, hypocrites and the resentful weak. Hate the strong, but secretly admire them. Criticize power while trying to gain it in underhanded ways. Use morality as a weapon rather than a true belief system. Blue circle, the truly strong. Acknowledge the reality of power without guilt. Create instead of destroy. Rise without needing to deceive themselves. Light bulb lesson. The worst people succeed not because they are evil, but because they understand power better than those who pretend it doesn't exist. 5. What can we learn from this? Nietzsche does not say we should become ruthless manipulators, only that we should stop lying to ourselves about how power works. How to succeed without losing yourself. White heavy checkmark, embrace your will to power. Don't suppress your drive for greatness. White heavy checkmark, stop playing by rules designed to weaken you. Challenge beliefs that make you passive. White heavy checkmark, take responsibility. No one is coming to save you. White heavy checkmark, seek truth over comfort. Strength comes from reality, not wishful thinking. Final thought. The question isn't, why do the worst people succeed? But rather, why do so many good people refuse to claim their power? What can we learn from this? Nietzsche's challenge to us. Nietzsche doesn't just criticize power. He challenges us to see the world as it really is and take control of our own fate. If the worst people succeed, it's not because evil is rewarded, but because power follows those who claim it. So what can we learn? 1. Stop expecting the world to be fair. The world does not reward goodness, kindness, or fairness automatically. Power is taken, not given. If you wait for justice to lift you up, you'll wait forever. Light bulb lesson. Accept reality as it is, not as you wish it to be. Then, act accordingly. 2. Stop demonizing power. Learn to wield it. Many people fear ambition, success, or dominance because they've been taught that power is evil. But Nietzsche argues that this is a lie. Power is natural, and it's how we shape the world. Red circle, weak mindset. Rich people are greedy. Blue circle, strong mindset. Wealth is a tool. How can I use it for my own vision? Light bulb lesson. Instead of hating power, learn how to use it ethically and effectively. 3. Take full responsibility for your life. Weak people blame society, morality, or circumstances for their failures. Strong people adapt, learn, and rise above. Light bulb lesson. No one is coming to save you. The sooner you take control of your own destiny, the better. 4. Build strength in every aspect of life. Success requires strength, physical, mental, and emotional. Nietzsche's Übermensch is someone who constantly overcomes challenges instead of avoiding them. Heavy checkmark. Physically, strength and health help you endure. Heavy checkmark. Mentally, knowledge and strategy give you an edge. Heavy checkmark. Emotionally, confidence and resilience make you unstoppable. Light bulb lesson. Instead of complaining about life's struggles, embrace them as fuel for your growth. 5. Create, don't conform. The worst people succeed because they impose their vision on the world. Most people follow rules, obey orders, and live according to others' values, which means they never truly live for themselves. Light bulb lesson. If you don't create your own path, someone else will control your destiny. Final thought. Will you be a victim or a creator? Nietzsche's question for us. Will you stay weak, waiting for fairness? Or will you rise, take power, and shape your own life? Backhand index pointing right, the choice is yours.